fascinating day. Good morning to you, Mark.
Morning,
In terms of the qualifying session that we saw yesterday, it was just so tight at the top. Brodie Kostecki getting it done in the dying stages of that, but there's been some controversial headlines overnight following the post-qualifying press conference, and Brodie had some interesting comments to make, and we'll get to those in just a minute, but check out the headlines there. Mustang salty, bullying Brodie, wants parity fixed. What is this all about?
Oh, look, I can't believe it, to be honest. I mean, we've done so much work as a business, Jess, to make sure these two cars are as close as they can be. Yesterday was absolutely epic. That top 10 is the closest top 10 in history at this place. The top 6 cars are separated by less than a tenth of a second. And when you think about 3 Mustangs and 3 Camaros in the top 6, as I said, separated by nothing, is extraordinary. So to claim that there's some parity issue, I'm bewildered by that. That blows me away. And speed is speed. So the thing that they're talking about is, oh, that won't correlate to the race. Well, it certainly correlates to how fast you can go around this place. And I've looked at the microsectors. You have a look at that there. The top 6 cars, 0.097 is just ridiculous. And I've looked at the microsectors. In fact, in the straight line sectors, Brodie was faster than Brock Feeney. So there's obviously just a lot of games being played in the background. Disappointing for me for that, because we saw the press conference, we saw the reactions. Some of the other guys were laughing at the same time, and obviously Brodie is pretty bullish about it, so there's a lot going on in the background.
Certainly is. Right, let's take a listen to what Brodie had to say in that press conference yesterday.
Did the hat trick happen tomorrow? Can it happen, and would it be special?
I'm not too sure. We need to get our upgrade to fix the deficit to the Camaros, 2 k's an hour on average, and it's a bit disappointing that nothing's been done about it after our report's been published. So it's just crap.
Playing devil's advocate, you have the fastest car though.
Doesn't matter.
All right, we'll take it over to the boys next to you.
Microsectors matter, and you can see that when I think it was 2.5 tenths or 2 tenths covered the whole top 10. That must be the closest shootout at Bathurst for a long time, considering Brodie usually dusts us all by 4 tenths. So nice to be within reaching distance.
It's because I'm in the same car as you now.
Yeah, exactly. You said so. But yeah, really excited for tomorrow and the weekend going forward. And yeah, obviously just try and make sure that we've got the car nice and slipstream down the straights.
Jamie, they were some pretty strong words there from Brodie. What's your take on the parity situation from a GM side?
Oh, hey, thanks for the question, but I'm going to stay away from the any politics or parity discussion. I've got a job to do this weekend, co-driving the 88. So I've certainly got my co-driver hat on, but happy to comment on that after the weekend for sure.
Certainly created plenty of interesting debate up and down the pit lane. Hello to you, Will Brown. Have you got any thoughts around the comments that Brodie was making at the end of yesterday?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. After getting polled to make those comments and not just celebrate it is a very interesting way to go about it, and I think their team's obviously unhappy, but funny thing is they were quicker than us in both straight line sectors on the timesheet. So it's a weird one, and it's the closest top 10 I've ever seen at Bathurst, and I think we've ever seen. So I think get into the racing and everyone put their heads down and have a good race and leave that side out of it, because unless they think they're 4 tenths better than the field, I think we've got parity.
I don't think Brodie was blowing about it last year when he was in a different car.
No, he seemed pretty happy last year. He said they're just a bunch of whingers. So who knows? But to be honest, I don't want to get too into it, because I think that it was competitive. I think it was an awesome qualifying session that everyone at home and all the fans should have really enjoyed. To see it be that tight, I don't think any other category in the world is as tight as our category. So hopefully we can just get on with the racing and have a good race Sunday.
We just showed a graphic that was 0.097 across the top 6 cars, 3 Mustangs and 3 Camaros. Extraordinary.
Yeah, for me, it's disappointing. I missed out on the top 10 and another really tough qualifying for us. It's my favourite sort of session of the year, the Bathurst shootout, as it is for everyone. So for me, it's a very disappointing day yesterday, but I was 2.5 tenths off pole position and I was 12th. We've gone to places like Queensland Raceway, there's 6 corners, a minute lap, and it's 8 tenths between the top 10. So to be around a 6.2 kilometre track and it be as tight as it is, it shows how good. I was like, oh God, I was on the edge, I nearly crashed and that. How have these other 12 guys done that as well? But everyone's doing a fantastic job.
So I've just grabbed Brodie Kostecki. I want to talk about, there's been some changes for the Mustang this weekend. We'll talk about over the weekend, mainly aerodynamic changes. But Brodie, you have been quite outspoken about the straight line performance of the Mustang. Give us your take. I mean, it's now making it into the newspapers. What's bugging your butt?
What are the changes for this weekend?
Sorry, the changes that were made for aerodynamic that were at the bend that were largely around coming into Bathurst, which is the wing you know about, the loss of drag.
Yeah, I mean, we just put in our best efforts forward from the directive from the category on what areas to focus in, but it's pretty evident where the problem lies, and there's a separate issue coming to this event, being that it's up in altitude. So it's very, very technical, but their technical department published a paper, and nothing's been done about it. So we're still seeing a deficit down the straights.
Brodie, I've got to say to you, and my mate, I don't like saying it to you, but I've been studying Motec data overnight because we're doing some stories. In that qualifying run yesterday, and I'm sure there'll be an explanation for it, but you were quicker than Brock Feeney down the straight and up the hill. Now, I don't know where he's got his wing set or you had your wing set, but that's a fact.
Yeah, there's also another fact too. You've done 3 pieces to camera stating how close the parity is, but we keep getting adjustments. So at the end of the day, there still is a deficit. I've been pretty vocal from day one that there's been differences, spoken out on my podcast that, coming here, the Camaro has had an advantage. But it just needs to be fixed. It's just unfair for the fans. Last year was a race that was won by 2 Camaros and was quite lackluster at the end of the day, and you want as many cars possible in the hunt for the win to make the race exciting. So the category owes that to the fans, and I hope everyone sees it that way.
Thanks for your passion, mate.
Thank you.